In this video, I'll be exploring the ideas of the anarchist thinker and revolutionary Mikhail Bakunin concerning religion. God as an idea was deeply repulsive to Bakunin and flew in the face of reason and rational thought. He saw the idea of God as a human creation, an absolute abstraction without reality, content and determination. In other words, it is absolute nothingness. God and religion are both human fantasies, a distortion of life on earth. The belief in God destroys human solidarity, liberty, cooperation and community. Human love becomes transferred to the nonsense of love for something which does not exist and into religious charity. For Bakunin, God and religion were the enemies of all oppressed classes, and indeed their role was to contribute to exploitation and oppression in concert with the ruling class. The acceptance of the idea of God was for Bakunin the denial of humanity, freedom and justice. He argued that if God is truth, justice and infinite life, then humanity must be, quote, falsehood, gross injustice and death, end quote. Bakunin further argues that by accepting the existence of God, humanity becomes enslaved, and that because humanity is capable of intelligence, justice and freedom, it follows that there is no such thing as God. Religions, for Bakunin, are the result of human fantasy in which heaven is a mirage. Once installed, God naturally becomes the master to whom people bow down. Of course, Bakunin recognised that God does not exist, and that religion is a human form of organising and controlling the people. He proposed that whoever takes it upon themselves to become prophet, revealer or cleric, God's representative on earth, becomes the teacher and leader. From that role, religious leaders end up, quote, commanding, directing and governing over earthly existence, end quote. So slaves of God become slaves of the church and state insofar as the state is given the blessing of organised religion. The organised religions of the world, particularly Christianity, have always allied themselves with domination, and even persecuted religions discipline their followers, laying the ground for a new tyranny. All religions, but again especially Christianity, were, in the words of Bakunin, quote, founded on blood, end quote. How many innocent victims have been tortured and murdered in the name of the religion of love and forgiveness? How many clerics, even today, asked Bakunin, support capital punishment? Bakunin believed that God does not exist and that this is good enough reason for opposing religion. However, he also states that religions must be combated because they create an intellectual slavery which, in alliance with the state, results in political and social slavery. Religions demoralise and corrupt people. They destroy reason and, quote, fill people's minds with absurdities, end quote. Religion is an ancient form of ideology which, in alliance with the state, can be reduced to a simple statement. We fool you, we rule you. Despite his views on religion, Bakunin believed firmly that people should have the freedom to believe what they wanted, including the freedom to be religious. This was as long as he had the freedom to criticise religion. In 1872, Bakunin expressed, quote, the most profound and sincere respect for the freedom and conscience of all, and the sacred freedom of all to propagate their ideas, end quote. And appreciating that most workers in his day believed in God, Bakunin was against the idea of making the First International strictly atheist. Bakunin believed that belief in religion, or God, would decrease significantly after the social revolution, after capitalism and the state had been abolished.